From the Conley Center on the campus of Ironton High School in Ironton, Ohio, Ohio University Southern's Electronic Media presents the 11th Annual Ironton Classic Invitational, brought to you by Western and Southern Line and Fox Sports Radio 1230 and 1420 AM. Tonight's games are sponsored by Giovanni's Pizza of Cogrove, Coca-Cola Bottling Company, St. Mary's Medical Center, Ohio University Southern, Buffalo Wild Wings, Bartram & Sons, Rax, and Collins Career Technical Center.
And welcome into the Conley Center on the campus of Ironton High School, where Ohio University Southern Electronic Media is proud to bring you the 11th edition of the Ironton Classic Invitational. I'm Brian Correa along with Zach Clemmy, and glad you could join us. In our opening game in the Invitational for this 2018 is going to be a nice little matchup between the Hornets of Coal Grove against the Flyers of St. Joe Catholic. Zach, this ought to be an interesting matchup. Two schools very close to each other here.
Right, and a little bit contrasting styles. You know, Coal Grove wants to get up and down. Ironton St. Joe wants to get some open threes and try to get that done. Set a school record the other night, so we'll see how that plays out.
St. Joe has the opening tip, misses the opening shot, and now Coal Grove with their first possession, or St. Joe rather, with their first possession of the game. The shot from the corner, no good. Coal Grove will come back with it. St. Joe really likes to shoot the threes, and as Zach mentioned just a moment ago, set a record just the other night, 18 three-pointers in a ballgame. That's just almost unheard of. Aaron Music with it now, one of the premier players in the tri-state area this season, and the Hornets now being very deliberate as they set up their offense. Jalen McKenzie with a shot, won't go, and St. Joe now comes back with it.
Nice shot fake there. It's not able to get it to go down.
McKenzie on the drive, puts it off the glass, and the first bucket of the game puts Coal Grove ahead. Jalen McKenzie with the first basket. St. Joe coming off a dramatic last-second win against Rock Hill just a couple of nights ago, and off to a pretty good start this season. From the corner, the three-pointer, Ryan Payne.
One of the top couple three-point shooters for the Flyers. Zach Roach being the other one.
Three off the back of the iron from Evan Gannon doesn't go. Now Nate Harmon with it inside, gives it back out to McKenzie, and Coal Grove resets the offense.
A little bit more length and athleticism, just for the eye test for Coal Grove, so rebounding is going to be something that Ironton St. Joe will have to key on.
McKenzie's three doesn't go, and Isaac Whaley down with a rebound for St. Joe, has it stolen away. Three attempt by Quarters doesn't go. McKenzie with the rebound, gives it inside, and the bucket by Evan Gannon puts the Hornets back on top.
One thing you can rely on a little bit if you're Coal Grove, replacing a lot of pieces from that very good season they had last year, so able to rely on their athleticism a little bit to get some offensive rebounds there on that possession.
Ryan Payne, second basket of the game. He's got all 5 of St. Joe's points, and they go back to a 1-point lead. McKenzie with a turnaround baseline jumper, hits it.
Jalen McKenzie.
Herman with the rebound. Out with it now comes Colgrove back the other way as we approach the halfway point of the opening quarter. Three-point attempt. Evan Gannon.
Saw there Aaron Music wanted the ball down low, thought he had a shot there, something to keep an eye on.
Music has it knocked away by Whaley, and Colgrove will retain possession. 3:42 to go in the quarter. And a 9-5 lead for the Colgrove Hornets. They'll have the ball out from the side. Harmon underneath puts it up, has it knocked away, and out with it comes St. Joe. Hallmeister with the three off the front of the iron, doesn't go. Now Colgrove on the break. Stop, pull-up jumper there off the back of the rim by Quarters, and we've got a whistle. And we have our first foul of the game.
Hornets fouls on 10, Nate Harmon. That's his first personal.
It's going to go against Nate Harmon. And the Flyers will have it out, trailing by 4 with 3:14 to play here in the first quarter.
Refreshing, Brian, to get almost 5 minutes into the game before you see your first foul. We cover primarily Kentucky basketball, and it seems like you can't get down the floor 3 trips without a couple fouls being called.
Music with the steal. Dishes it off underneath, too hard for Peyton Smith, who just came into the ball game a moment ago, and we've got another foul underneath on St. Joe. That'll send Peyton Smith to the free throw line.
St. Joseph fouls him for Isaac Whaley. That's his first personal. Team's first at the line for the Hornets.
Isaac Whaley called for the foul. .257 to play here in the first. Opening game of the 11th annual Ironton Classic. Peyton Smith's second shot, again off the back of the iron. St. Joe out with it now, trying to cut into this 4-point lead. Roach tries to drive, has it knocked away, but St. Joe will keep it. Roach will inbound under the basket, brings it into Hallmeister. Hallmeister with a nice job of staying with it and gets the steal and the basket, and now St. Joe pulls to within 2. Three-pointer there from Gannon won't go. Colgrove now with a second chance.
4 or 5 offensive rebounds already in the game. Not quite 6 minutes in.
Nice bounce pass underneath to McKenzie. Peyton Smith drew the triple team and found McKenzie driving to the basket, and the Colgrove lead now is back to 4 with 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. Long three-pointer by Roach, and he nails it.
That's a 3 for Zach Roach.
And that's one area where St. Joe, if they get on a hot streak there, they could really pile up the points quickly. Peyton Smith with a 3, and he nails it. His first basket of the game. The lead is back out to 4.
Like we mentioned, Ironton St. Joe likes that perimeter game, but Colgrove matching them right now. 2 threes for both teams so far.
Smith with the steal. Quarters goes in for the layup. 16-10 Colgrove lead as we approach 1 minute to play in the quarter.
Basket by Corey Quarters.
On the drive to the basket, Colgrove foul. That one's going to go against.
Hornets fouls on 3, Evan Gannon, his first personal, team second.
Evan Gannon called for the foul.
Trevor Carey in the game for Colgrove, along with 12 Kyle Sites.
Kyle Seitz and Trevor Carey in for Colgrove. Ball knocked away, and nice hustle there by Trevor Carey, who just came into the game, but almost had the steal, but he gets called for the personal. That's the third team foul on Colgrove, and St. Joe will have it out at the midcourt stripe. 57 seconds to play in the quarter. Music, nice anticipation, gets the steal, takes it all the way in. With a punctuation mark on that, Aaron Music. Now, a little bit of pressure there, but St. Joe now will bring it in with 45 seconds to play. 18-10 Colgrove lead. Stolen away by Trevor Carey. Ball still loose on the floor. St. Joe back with it. Roach now decides to bring it back out wisely. It was 1-on-3. Now we're down to the final 21 seconds, and we've got an offensive foul underneath the basket.
St. Joseph foul is charged with scoring. That's Isaac Whaley. That's his second personal.
Isaac Whaley called for the foul, and that's 2 on Whaley. So at 20.2, Colgrove will have it, likely get the last shot here of the quarter. Seconds. Music now takes it, stops, shoots the three off the front of the rim, no good. St. Joe now with it, 2 seconds left. The half-court heave will go up, and that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. Colgrove leading St. Joe 18-10. You are watching the 11th annual Ironton Classic Invitational.
Seeing so far the
The 11th Annual Ironton Classic Invitational is brought to you by Western and Southern Life, Fox Sports Radio, 1230 and 1420 AM,
I remember from football.
Ohio University Southern, Buffalo Wild Wings, Rax,
Quarter number one now in the books, and Colgrove out to an 18-10 lead. And Zach, I don't know that we necessarily expected this much scoring in the first half, but like you said, not a lot of fouling, but both teams really doing a good job of getting the ball up the floor and shooting a couple of threes and getting some points on the board.
Right, Colgrove able to generate some turnovers and turn the Flyers over 5 times there, and got some offensive rebounds as well to generate some second shots there. So they're a little bit more in their game maybe than Ironton St. Joe is at the moment. So sure, Chris Barnes is talking over there about, just settle in, be strong with the ball, and then try to get your open shots. Of course, veteran coach in this area, coached at Ironton for a while and went on to South Point, and coached at OU Southern as well. No stranger to the area, even though this is his first year at St. Joe.
And the Flyers will have it out now at midcourt as we begin the second quarter of play. Zach Roach with the pull-up three. Ball loose underneath. Roach, with Music rather, down with it for Colgrove, and quickly out, takes it the length of the floor, puts it up, doesn't get the roll, gets his own rebound, stays with it. Nice job by Aaron Music. And Chris Barnes didn't like what he saw. They're going to have a timeout to discuss a couple of things on that. Let Music take it down the length of the floor. He had not only the shot, but got his own rebound. So that takes the lead out to 10-point lead there with 7:42 left. And Zach, Aaron Music kind of making a name for himself in the tri-state. Probably one of the more premier players in our area, I would say.
Right, I already saw he's already got one dunk in today and a handful of pretty nice rebounds. He started that play himself, and you can see Coach Barnes talking to the Flyers over there. No coach likes to see an opponent grab a rebound, then dribble the length of the floor and make the play himself. So wanting St. Joe to get in there and try to maybe take a charge or force him to pass the ball. And that's even compounded, when you got a guy, like you said, with the athleticism and talent of Aaron Music. Certainly don't want to see him coming in the open floor.
Back to action, 7.5 to go, and St. Joe with it, and the three-pointer up off the back of the rim by Payne, no good, and Harmon down with it now for Colgrove, quickly out. In the corner, the three-pointer put up by Peyton Smith won't go, ball loose under the floor, and we've got a foul underneath the Colgrove basket.
Fouls on 25, J.C. Dameron is first.
J.C. Dameron called for the personal. 13 foul on St. Joe, and Music will bring it in. Smith thought about the three, didn't take it.
Got one down today. Maybe figured he's pushing his luck if he took an open one that early in the possession. Aaron Music's had his hand up about the entire time Colgrove's had the ball all day. He likes that matchup inside.
Peyton Smith, his second three-pointer of the game. He's got 6.
That's the other thing, too, is if you got a guy like Music inside, that forces the defense to sag down a little bit and get some open shots on the perimeter for Colgrove. Taking advantage so far.
Music with the steal now, taking it all the way in. And Aaron Music now has given Colgrove a 15-point lead at 25-10, 6.5 to play here in the first half. Stolen underneath, Carey with the steal. Smith with a nice bounce, with a nice bounce pass underneath. We got a foul on the shot, and that's going to be, no, they're going to call a charging foul, and that'll go on Peyton Smith.
That's his first personal, 4th team.
Had the right idea, had the teammate open underneath, but called for the charge. That's his first foul.
Might have been just what the Flyers needed. That's a good way to generate a little bit of momentum and intensity to take a charge. We'll see if they can run their offense a little bit better this time down and get a good shot off. Colgrove's got him completely out of whack right now.
At the 6-minute mark here in the first half. And we have another foul, this one on Colgrove, and will go against.
Colgrove foul is charged against 23, Jalen McKenzie, his first.
Jalen McKenzie gets his first personal. It's 5 team fouls on Colgrove. Three-pointer up by Ryan Payne. That's his second three-pointer of the evening. And
24, Ryan Payne.
have a timeout here for an injury. It looks Harmon, don't know if he twisted his ankle or what happened, but he's holding his left knee, so as they were heading back down the floor, he didn't get up.
No weight on that left leg at all coming off.
So Harmon being helped off the floor, and we have a brief timeout here, so Colgrove leading at 25-13.
Ryan Payne did get a 3 down for the Flyers on that last possession. You see a couple of those guys, they like their chances. I think it's going down every time they take a shot, just watching the way they kind of backpedal and start on defense. And you have a little bit of swagger there and able to take advantage on that possession.
Nice pass into Music. Reverse layup won't go. Smith with the rebound. Peyton Smith has really given Colgrove a lot of energy and a jolt there. He's put in 8 points. And the basket there by Isaac Whaley. McKenzie off the glass.
That's exactly what Colgrove wants to do, speed up the tempo a little bit.
Basket by 23, Jalen McKenzie.
Try to get a shot off fairly quickly, use their athleticism advantage. Although they also feel good about their chances in the half court.
Whaley with the baseline jumper, a little too strong. Smith down with it for Colgrove, and the outlet pass to McKenzie. Flips it back, but it's off the leg of Quarters, and so it'll be out St. Joe basketball. 4:41 left in the half. From the corner, shot fired up there, won't not go, and here comes Colgrove back with it again, leading by 14. McKenzie, nice drive down the lane. Jalen McKenzie, he's now in double figures.
Nice play. Max Weber tried to take a charge, and McKenzie just went right around him. The right idea if you're in the post there, but just, again, the edge that Colgrove has in being able to make plays.
The long three fired up, rolls in and out from Roach. Smith, he'll take that three and rolls in and out. Roach down with a rebound for St. Joe. Music going to be called for the charge on that one.
It's the right call, led with the shoulder a little bit back and in, maybe a little bit more than it needed to. Trying to create some separation, get a move made down there.
His first 6 team foul against the Hornets.
Three and a half minutes left in this first half, and Colgrove has pretty much led from the get-go and have not taken their foot off the pedal yet. Nice drive, but knocked away there. Good defense by Colgrove, and back they come on the break. Driving in is Evan Holmes. He just came into the ball game, but we've got another foul, offensive foul on Colgrove.
Sure, for too much longer, Kevin Vanderhoof will point out to the officials that Colgrove has not gotten a block charge call yet. I think out of 4, they've all gone the Flyers' way. So if that goes on too long, I'm sure that you can see Vanderhoof chirping down there a little bit. We'll see if that comes into play later.
From the corner, Zach Roach.
Roach and Payne both have 2 threes so far. Probably got to get a little bit more to climb back into this one.
McKenzie with a strong move inside, gets the bucket. 12 points for Jalen McKenzie. Jimmy Maumeister with the 3.
Starting to heat up from the perimeter a little bit. 5 threes now for the Flyers.
2 minutes to go in the half. Music drives baseline, dishes it off. Holmes can't hit the shot, tipped around. Holmes gets it back, drives the lane, still doesn't get it. Colgrove now out of there, or St. Joe out of there with it now with a minute and a half left in the half.
A good step for the Flyers, then get it within 10 at the half. Just at this point, you know, you're down 12, you just got to try to chip away a little bit.
Isaac Whaley with the long 3.
It's the way you do it. Trust your offense, get some shots off. You know, those basketball coaches like to say there's no 9 or 10-point shots, so string together some good possessions and don't worry about the score so much as you will here at the end of the ball game. Just keep chipping away.
McKenzie with a jumper, won't go, gets his own rebound. Steps back and takes the three from there. They give it to him and he takes it. Ball tapped around, still loose, taken out of there now by St. Joe and J.C. Dameron. He takes it the length of the floor, puts it off the glass too strong. With 28 seconds, Colgrove now will have it back, leading by 9. And Kevin Vanderhoof's going to take a 30-second timeout with the last 18.5 seconds remaining in the half to talk about some strategy here, leading by 9 points. And I guess one thing about St. Joe, the fact the way they can shoot threes, they can get back in this game real quick.
Absolutely, very easily shoot themselves back into the ball game, as they've done, getting it down from about a 15-point deficit down to 9 right now. And it's just you want to try to get a stop here. If you're Colgrove in that huddle over there, you may think you're trying to figure out a way either to get a nice one-on-one for Aaron Music inside, or if you want to use that advantage, you have to try to set up an open shot on the perimeter. So you have options if you're Colgrove in the half court here.
Colgrove's coming off of a 19-6 season last year and trying to build on that here in this 2018-2019 season. Playing in the OVC, which always tough conference every year.
Reading some of the coverage that Jimmy Walker and Tim Stevens produced last year, they talked about how playing in that conference and that OVC really got them ready for the postseason run they made. Won their 2nd district title in school history. Playing against bigger schools, night in and night out, kind of helped them get ready to be able to do that.
Down to the final 10 seconds here. From the corner, Gannon puts it up, won't go. Rebound by Holmes. Ball loose underneath. Music puts it up, but it's after the buzzer. It will not count. So that brings us to the end of the first half. Colgrove leads St. Joe by a score of 33-24. You're watching the 11th annual Ironton Classic Invitational.
Test 1, 2. Anybody got program number? What was it, Rich? 11 and 21, inside front cover, 11 and 21. If you got it, come on out, shoot for this $100. No holler. Inside program, 11 or 21.
The 11th annual Ironton Classic Invitational is brought to you by Western and Southern Life. Fox Sports Radio 1230 and 1420 AM. Bartram and Sons. Collins Career and Technical Center.
And back for second half action here at the Ironton Classic Invitational. Colgrove leading at 33-24 over St. Joe. And interesting first half, Zach. One of the things we saw was Colgrove got off to a hot start and pretty much maintained it, and then a nice round of shooting by St. Joe pulled them back to within 9.
Yeah, nice back and forth game there early, and a good start here obviously for the Flyers, getting a miss there and then a rebound.
Jalen McKenzie leading all scorers with 12 points, and Peyton Smith did a nice job off the bench there in the first half. Had a couple of threes.
Like you mentioned earlier, brought some nice energy. Nice luxury to have for a school Colgrove size to have somebody come off the bench that can play like that.
Roach steps back, puts up the jumper. Oh, in and out. And Aaron Music down with it for Colgrove. Music with the baseline jumper off the back of the rim, won't go. J.C. Dameron takes it down for St. Joe, and here's Whaley with it, gets the cross-court pass. Underneath, nice pass. Corey Gorders got called for the foul, and Maulmeister was there and took the pass, but a nice pass underneath sets him up, and so he'll go to the free throw line for a couple of free throws here.
Nothing malicious there, but if you're going to have a foul on the interior, that's the way you got to do it. Eliminate any chance for a made layup there. Hit the deck pretty hard, so you run the risk of some other sort of foul being called there, but didn't look like anything malicious or intentional there.
It's Maulmeister's first point of the game. Hits them both, and he draws St. Joe to within 7. Quarters drives the lane, puts it off the glass, and a nice move by Corey Quarters.
Had options there, had a guy open in the corner, took the higher percentage shot, so well played there.
Maulmeister with the pull-up shot, won't go, ball loose, Music with it. Colgrove now back on the break. No look pass underneath, gets it back, Music now, caught in the middle, and Peyton Smith drives the lane. McKenzie spins, puts it up. No good. Dameron down with the rebound.
8 rebounds for him so far in this game.
The long 3 by Roach. Whaley hit one of those earlier, and Roach, those guys can really, they back it up and they shoot a real 3-pointer.
No question, yeah, it'd be an NBA 3 or at least close to it. Definitely a college 3.
Whaley with it now, and it's a 6-point game, and now St. Joe almost has it stolen away, and we've got a foul, and that's going to go against Quarters.
Second in a span of less than 3 minutes for that guy. He'll sit. I'm sorry, that's McKenzie that came off.
Also, Corey Quarters, his second personal, team second.
Trevor Carey back in for Colgrove. Roach has it blocked by Carey. Didn't get enough separation as he stepped back there, and so now we've got a foul on St. Joe.
St. Joseph fouls on 12, Zach Roach. That's his first.
So Trevor Carey did a good job there for Colgrove being right there with him. He knew what Roach wanted to do and didn't fool really with the little head fake there and right there to block the shot and then grab the rebound and get fouled. Obviously, Colgrove knows that's the way that Ironton St. Joe is going to try to get back into this game, is to try to hit some of those. So play sticky defense on the perimeter.
Smith with the 3, won't go inside, and we've got a foul underneath. They're going to get, I believe, J.C. Dameron for the push-off underneath, which will be his second personal.
Fouls on 24, Ryan Payne.
Well, they actually called it on Ryan Payne.
Second team foul against the Flyers.
So that's his first. 4:43 to go here in the third quarter. Colgrove trying to add to this 6-point lead, and the shot from the corner by Quarters won't go. The ball knocked around, and going to have a foul, and I think they're going to call that one on Carey.
Colgrove foul was charged against 34, Trevor Carey, his second personal. Team's third.
Reached around there, the right call.
So once again, St. Joe trailing by 6. Done a good job here in this third quarter of closing the gap, and what once looked like could potentially turn into a blowout. This has turned into pretty much a ball game now. Stolen away by Music.
Good job of getting back defensively, forcing Music to back it out and try to run a play there.
Zach Roach going to be called for that foul.
St. Joseph foul is charged against Zach Roach. His second personal.
Quarters will bring it in for Colgrove. 4:09 to play in the third quarter. Whaley with the steal. It doesn't get the layup.
It's almost harder sometimes when you know nobody's chasing you, or at least nobody particularly close. Hear the footsteps coming, so to speak.
Whaley almost had another steal, but got body on that, so that's going to be Isaac Whaley's third personal.
Fouls are for Alex Whaley. His third, team's fourth.
Jackson Rowe into the St. Joe lineup.
See how that affects the Flyers. Their floor general has to take a seat for a moment with 3 fouls. Can't afford to keep him out of the game for too long, so we'll see how Chris Barnes manages this.
Evan Gannon with the jump shot.
Quiet 7 points for him. That's the thing about Colgrove. They've gotten a little bit of production from a lot of guys today. Very balanced offensive effort. Again, a product of what Aaron Music creates inside. Gets shots for other people just by the matchups that it creates inside.
Neumeister behind the back. Dameron gets it. He gets knocked out of bounds, and we're going to have a foul underneath on Colgrove. I believe that's going to go against Peyton Smith.
The last foul against 44, Peyton Smith, his second personal, team's fourth.
Driving down the lane is Ryan Payne, and he's going to draw the foul. He'll be going to the free throw line.
Gannon bailed him out there. Wasn't a whole lot of chance that he was going to make that layup.
Colgrove foul is charged against Evan Gannon, his second personal.
Had his back to the basket almost.
Against the Hornets at the line for the Flyers, number 24, Ryan Payne.
But that's what scorers do. They know how to generate scoring opportunities. Payne certainly qualifies.
Really haven't had a lot of free throw opportunities in this game, but St. Joe now is 3 for 3 from the line. Colgrove 0 for 2, and they're only 2 trips for the line. And a perfect 4 for 4 for St. Joe, and they draw again to within 6 with 2:53 to play.
To your point, a decent number of fouls called, but most of them off the ball and not shooting fouls, and nobody came close to getting in the bonus in the first half. Of course, St. Joe already only 2 fouls away from getting in the bonus in the second half.
Music, top of the key, doesn't go. Rebounded out of there by Roach, and he's going to be fouled by Music. Foul starting to add up here now for Colgrove. 16 fouls.
6 against the team.
And once again, St. Joe with a chance to cut into the 6-point lead.
About exactly where they wanted to be after they were down about 15 midway through the second quarter.
Ball stolen away by Smith, and he drives it down, puts it off the glass. He's going to be fouled as he goes up for the shot, but he'll be going through the free throw line.
Ball had a chance of rolling in, but Aaron Music tipped it while it was up there. So it'll be waved off.
St. Joseph foul is charged against Jackson Rowe, his first 15th foul against the Flyers. At the line for Colgrove, number 44,
Peyton Smith now to the free throw line.
First made free throw of the game for Colgrove.
Chip McKenzie back in the game for Colgrove.
Almost 22 minutes into the game.
Nate Harmon of Colgrove injured, looked like injured his left knee. early in the or late in the second quarter, left the game, and he hasn't come back. Hasn't even come back to the bench, so that injury definitely keeping him out of the rest of this game. Smith with the steal and the layup.
Turnover, 2 straight steals for him on consecutive possessions. Really anticipating what St. Joe wants to do up top very well. Putting himself in position to steal a handoff the last time and then got out in front of that pass.
Ball loose on the floor, taken away by Music. Again, that Cold Grove defense, and they get it back out to Peyton Smith. Now the lead quickly jumps back out to 12 and 1:26 to play in the third, and we're going to have a quick timeout here by St. Joe. They try to slow this down a little bit.
Again, like we mentioned earlier, this is exactly what Cold Grove wants to do, generate offense with defense, get out on the floor, run a little bit. That isn't St. Joe's game. They want to get in the half court and try to get some shots away, and they had it down to 6 and then turnovers on 3 straight possessions, and Chris Barnes has a burn timeout to try to settle things down, like you mentioned, slow the game down a little bit.
All right, we'll step aside for a moment. You're watching the 11th annual Ironton Classic.
The 11th annual Ironton Classic Invitational is brought to you by Western and Southern Life, Fox Sports Radio, 1230 and 1420 AM, Cold Grove Giovanni's Pizza, Coca-Cola Bottling Company, St. Mary's Medical Center.
.126 to play in the third quarter, and Cold Grove with that spurt just took themselves out, back out to a 12-point lead. St. Joe had it cut down to 6, chance to cut it to 4, and then a couple of nice defensive plays, especially there by Peyton Smith. And again, he's been a real spark plug in this ball game.
Absolutely scored 6 straight points, and it caused 2 of those turnovers as well. So definitely something that St. Joe's going to have to clean up top to try to keep things going. Again, that's a product, too, of your point guard being out of the game with foul trouble. Doesn't help.
Maulmeister from the corner doesn't get it. St. Joe gets their own rebound. Nice bounce pass underneath the Maulmeister, but too far under the basket, finds himself out of bounds. The turnover gives it back to Cold Grove with 1:08 to play in the quarter.
J.C. Dameron did just grab his 9th rebound of the game for the Flyers. It's definitely been one of the strong points inside for them.
Gannon puts up the left-handed floater. Cold Grove now quietly just creating some distance now as they go up by 14. Roach jumper falls short. Music down with it, and again, St. Joe in danger of really getting themselves taken out of this. The left hand is going to be called for the charge. It was a pretty obvious call there. 3rd foul on Aaron Music.
Probably the best way for the Flyers to defend him inside is to try to take a charge and hope for the best.
So Music with 3 fouls. Isaac Whaley with 3 fouls for St. Joe, and he's back in the ball game. 39.7 left in the third. Evan Holmes now comes in for Cold Grove, and Aaron Music will take a seat.
Getting a nice hand from the Hornets fan sitting behind that bench. Only 6 points tonight, but he's definitely been a force inside there. Has really changed what both teams want to do, particularly the Flyers. Made life difficult for them inside and created some offense for his teammates.
Whaley drives, puts it off the glass, and a nice drive and a finish there by Isaac Whaley. 7 points for him.
Just back into the game. He's got those 3 fouls, so he's got to be careful defensively.
4 seconds remaining. Gannon drives, has it knocked away. The heave up there by McKenzie doesn't go, and that brings us to the end of the third quarter. And Cold Grove, with a nice surge there in the third, takes it out to a 45-33 lead. We'll take a break. You're watching the 11th annual Ironton Classic.
The 11th Annual Ironton Classic Invitational is brought to you by Western and Southern Life. Fox Sports Radio, 1230 and 1420 a.m. Ohio University Southern. Buffalo Wild Wings. Rax.
Production for tonight's game is being made possible by the electronic media program of Ohio University Southern. Thank you for watching. This is the 11th Annual Ironton Classic opening game for this 2018 edition. Coal Grove leading it by 12, 45-33 as we get ready to start the fourth and final quarter. Peyton Smith leading all scorers with 14 points, and he's come off the bench and been quite a spark plug for the Hornets tonight.
Really helped Coal Grove get the momentum back, Brian, after St. Joe had cut it to 6 on a couple occasions. They were doing exactly what they should have been, just trying to chip away. And that is, of course, the peril with that sort of philosophy is you got to stay on schedule and can't have any untimely turnovers. A lot like a slow ball control offense in football, and had that same issue tonight.
Drive down the lane by Roach. Doesn't get the shot to fall. Had a nice drive, but can't finish. Nice move there by Peyton Smith with the fake and the drive down the lane.
Hit enough threes today to show you got to respect that, and so that gives you the opportunity to get even a little bit higher percentage shot in the lane.
Dameron drives down the lane, gets the bucket.
First bucket for him. He does lead the Flyers in rebounds. Got sitting on 9 right now in the first minute of the fourth quarter.
Long three there, put up by Evan Gannon. We're just getting ready to say that St. Joe's just a couple of threes from being back in this thing, and then Gannon hits that three and puts them up by 15. There's a long three from the corner by Maulmeister, doesn't go, and here comes Coal Grove once again. Smith drives baseline, whistle, foul underneath, going to be a blocking foul.
St. Joseph foul is charged against 33. Jimmy Maulmeister is first.
Finally, a block charge call that went Coal Grove's way. They're having horrific luck with that there, and obviously that's a difficult call for officials to make. And then give it right back on a charge.
Coal Grove foul is charged against Aaron Music. That's his fourth.
So Music now with his fourth personal. 6:32 remaining. Music will come out, and Evan Holmes will come back in for Coal Grove.
Coming off the floor. Not that Holmes is a bad player by any stretch of the imagination, but this is where the Flyers have to make some hay, get back in the game, and try to do something while Music's sitting over there, because obviously that's their best chance to make anything happen inside.
Whaley with a strong drive down the lane and gets the bucket. 9 points for Isaac Whaley, and draws St. Joe to within 13.
So he knew that big number 1 wasn't waiting there to alter. A shot went straight to the basket as soon as he saw Music come off the floor.
And they get the steal, and here comes Zach Roach with it now. Roach with the drive down the lane, gets his rebound, has it tapped out. Payne gets it and has it knocked away by Corey Quarters, but St. Joe will keep it with 5:55 to play.
Getting some penetration there by the Flyers. They're definitely going to take what Coal Grove's giving them. It's their best chance of getting back into this game down 13 with a little under 6 minutes to go.
Dameron drives, gets the basket, and he's fouled. Dameron can complete the three-point play, he can get St. Joe back to within 10.
I'd venture to guess that Music's not going to be sitting very long if this continues. If you're Cold Grove, you're in relatively good position still. You're still up 11. You're even up 10 if this free throw goes down, so you got a little cushion to play with. But you don't want to give too much hope to a team that can shoot the three as well as the Flyers can.
So the shot rolls in and out. Here comes Cold Grove now. Shot off the glass, no good. Gannon gets it up, puts it back again. Nice job of staying with it there by Evan Gannon, and the lead is back to 13 for Cold Grove. Whaley drives, strong move off the glass.
Cold Grove's having no luck keeping him out of the paint right now.
Full court pressure by the Flyers. Good job breaking the press there by Cold Grove, and they set it up with 5:15 to go. That's going to be an over and back, so the turnover will give it back to the Flyers with a chance now to get within the 10-point range, maybe get it down to 9, even 8.
And St. Joe applies a little bit of pressure there in the half court and forces an unforced error there, so to speak, by Cold Grove. You got to pick your spots. They slap one on right there at a very good time.
Whaley a little too strong off the glass. Outlet pass to Peyton Smith, and he finishes it off. 18 points for Peyton Smith. The lead's back now to 13. Dameron, strong drive down the lane, has it knocked away. McKenzie comes out with it. Once again, Cold Grove defensively tightening up inside. They get the turnover, get the ball back. 4.5 to play now.
And take their time too and melt that clock a little bit. Obviously the clock is Cold Grove's friend right now, so not going to get in any big hurry and getting into a set. Wait for an open shot.
Holmes with the turnaround jumper, his first basket of the game.
The other side of that coin is too, Brian, that if you're St. Joe, you can't sit back too long and just let them run an offense, especially when you see Aaron Music sitting ready to get back into the game. You're going to have to start taking some chances defensively.
Zach Roach hits the three. Ryan Payne, rather, on the shot. Smith now, he'll shoot the three and goes off the front of the iron, no good. Payne now all alone gets the layup on the other end. Gets St. Joe back to within 10, 3:32 to go, and Cold Grove will take a timeout to talk about it.
So there too, Kevin Vanderhoof had no intentions of waiting for the next clock stoppage to get Music back into the game. He wanted to do it right now before this gets any closer than 10.
Give a lot of credit to St. Joe because they still are scrappy, they're staying after it, and not showing any quit whatsoever.
Definitely making some good plays and took advantage of what Cold Grove was giving them. Got to the basket when they could, set up a couple open shots, and J.C. Dameron really came on over the last few minutes to generate a little bit of offense as well. And Isaac Whaley coming back into the game was a game changer as well. The Hornets weren't having any luck at all keeping them out of the paint there.
Talked about Peyton Smith. Evan Gannon has kind of quietly stepped up here in this fourth quarter. He's at 14 points, but that three that he hit and then that two-pointer that he missed his shot, got his rebound back, put it back in. He's really been playing tough underneath the basket as well.
Right, Cold Grove hasn't hit too many threes today. They've got 4, not nearly as many, obviously, as the Flyers, but Cold Grove's hit some timely ones, and that one right there that you mentioned kind of helped the Hornets stave off that Flyers run for the time being.
3:32 remaining, and a 10-point spread. Cold Grove will have it out under the St. Joe basket. Aaron Music to bring it in. Music playing with 4 personals. St. Joe now applying some full court pressure.
Worked pretty well there, except Ryan Payne left his feet and ended up on the ground.
Quarter shot falls short now. St. Joe now Comes back the other way. Payne with a nice move along the baseline. Has it taken away there by Quarters on the other end. Ball still loose underneath, and St. Joe back out with it. They get the turnover. Whaley will take the long three. Rolls in and out. Had a nice look at it there.
Good idea, definitely, but just didn't go down for him. See Isaac Whaley there guarding Music, trying to keep him away from the basket. Didn't work.
Gannon takes it in strong. Is going to be called for the charge. That's the third foul on Evan Gannon.
Block shark calls continue to not go Colgrove's way. Definitely fortunate they have a little bit of a cushion here to where that doesn't hurt them at the moment, at least as much as it might otherwise.
2.5 to play. Payne with the jump shot inside. Dameron fights, gets the rebound, has it blocked inside by Music, and now almost stolen away there by Payne, and then we're going to get a foul on Dameron. St. Joe just really scrapping and doing everything they can to get the ball back, but unfortunately the ball wouldn't drop, and Dameron gets called for his second personal.
Dameron did very well to get the offensive rebound there against Air Music a moment ago. It's not something you can say very often that people get the ball away from him, but he was just waiting there to block Dameron's shot as soon as he was able to get one away.
Got a lane violation, I believe, or foul. Got a foul on the inside. So Dameron gets called for the foul as they go scrapping for the ball underneath, and that'll send Corey Quarters to the line.
Might have worked out best anyway for Colgrove because Music barely drew iron on his free throw. I don't know if he's a little bit tired or just didn't have the feel for it there. Had not shot a free throw yet today.
So Quarters his both free throws. That takes the lead out to 12. And we've got a timeout with 1:56 remaining.
Clock's still running here for some reason, but they're going to get back to about 2 minutes once they reset it.
And we'll step aside for a moment. You're watching the 11th annual Ironton Classic.
The 11th annual Ironton Classic Invitational is brought to you by Western and Southern Life, Fox Sports Radio 1230 and 1420 AM, Bartram and Sons, Collins Career and Technical Center.
.152 to play here in the final quarter. Colgrove with a 12-point lead. St. Joe has made their run, and Colgrove has answered. And it's been a couple of times, Zach, it looks like that St. Joe was going to make a run and maybe get right back into this thing, maybe even tie it up. And then Colgrove with a couple of nice defensive plays and a couple of three-pointers, and they keep the gap alive there.
Like you mentioned, yeah, Colgrove can't really let off the throttle because St. Joe's always only a few possessions away from being right back into the game the way they shoot threes. So Colgrove's done a good job of kind of withstanding those runs and had a little bit too much of a cushion for the Flyers to get caught up so far.
Roach, nice drive. Gets the basket at the end, 11 points for Zach Roach.
A little bit of a 1-2-2 press here for the Flyers, but Colgrove's broken it without too much trouble on that play.
McKenzie finds Quarters underneath for the easy basket. The long three-pointer there off the back of the rim by Payne. Doesn't go, Maulmeister has it. St. Joe will get another crack at it. Down to the final minute here of this game. Payne from the corner, a little short. Again, second chance for St. Joe. And Maulmeister will take his shot for the three-pointer, won't go. Quarters comes out of there with it for Colgrove.
Like St. Joe will continue to provide token pressure, but not going to foul and extend the game at this point. Good move. Down 12 with about 20 seconds to go.
And we're down to the last 15 seconds, and that's going to run it out. And that'll bring us to the end. And in the opening game here in the 11th annual Ironton Classic, the Colgrove Hornets come out victorious as they defeat the Flyers of St. Joe by a score of 60-48. And I'd say that Coach Vanderhoof's got to be pleased with the way his team performed. And, you know, they got challenged a little bit there, but nonetheless, they withstood it and come out with the victory. Yeah,
the Hornets played some tough early season games, trying to get their guys ready to try to make another run like they did last year. And games like this will only help in terms of seeing the opponent make a run there and try to be able to withstand that and learn how to do that. Obviously, you have to do that in the postseason and in big games, and Colgrove passed that test very well today.
Peyton Smith, leading scorer for the Hornets with 18 points. And as I mentioned, Evan Gannon with kind of a quiet 14. And again, some solid performance there in the fourth quarter, but Peyton Smith come off the bench and really just gave them a spark, with both his offensively and defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned those two guys, and Jalen McKenzie also, I think Warrants mentioned, had a very strong second half, especially he hit 6 two-point shots in a row. Of the ones he tried there, and so just again a complete effort for Colgrove. Got some points from some other guys. Aaron Music didn't score a whole lot, but just his presence creates opportunities for his teammates.
St. Joe had 3 players in double figures, led by Ryan Payne with 15. Isaac Whaley, Zach Roach with 11. They had quite a few three-pointers. They just couldn't string enough of them together to get back in the ballgame.
Yeah, 8 threes today for the Flyers, and of course they hit 18 a couple weeks ago, so you know they're capable of a great performance as far as that goes. But you know, enough to stay in the game, but never able to really get to where they're making Colgrove sweat too much. Never got within 6 there in that second half.
Someday starts today at Ohio University Southern. With more than 30 affordable 2- and 4-year degree programs in-demand careers, you'll learn skills employers want right here in the tri-state and beyond. With traditional classroom instruction in Ironton and Proctorville, online and blended learning, Ohio University Southern meets the needs of working adults and traditional students with affordable, accessible, high-quality education. Ohio University Southern.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.